Welcome to the Lazypug review channel. Please subscribe if you want. Someone told me that you're supposed to say that stuff. I completely forgot in the first video. My bad. I don't know how to make YouTube videos. So much so that I'm making a movie review channel and I don't even have movie review stuff on me. Like, how are people gonna know I like movies if I don't have a big fat stack of Blu-rays here or a Kill Bill poster in the background? No one's gonna take me seriously. So I'm gonna order some. But that's gonna take a little bit of time because I don't got Amazon Prime. But yeah, YouTube review show, that's already kind of dated. I know that, but I gotta play into the character a little bit more. For your viewing pleasure, I will be playing the part of the YouTube review channel. I hate movies so freaking much, man. They get me so mad. In today's episode, we will be talking about Suspiria, the new Suspiria, which is like what nu metal did to metal, and there's gonna be a secret third film that makes me even just as mad. That will be coming after the intro.
Suspiria follows a young American girl named Susie, as should have been a carpenter banyan, as she travels abroad to study dance. But not everything is as it seems, and when she arrives, she sees a student named Pat, apparently. I wonder if she has any relation to the character from SNL. Pat is fleeing the school and runs into the woods. During a thunderstorm, mind you. Talk about a rough first night. Now, what I like about these first scenes is it sets up the feeling of unease that's to come with the rest of the movie. Also, Dario Argento splashes every frame with so much color and crazy sets that it's hard not to be engaged with what's going on. The mood is only stronger with the brilliant soundtrack provided by Goblin. Something else I enjoy about the use of music, especially in these opening scenes, is it just comes on. No fading, no nothing. It just blasts ya. In 2018, Luca Guadagnino asked, "Why can't I remake Suspiria, but take away all the cool colors and sets and focus more on the story?" Nobody told him focusing on a story about a bunch of witches that run a dance academy is going to be kind of silly. But Luca didn't care. He went for it. He really went for it. Okay, what I like about the remake is in some ways it's just a straightforward remake of Suspiria. It's all there. The story about a young American named Susie, as should have been a carpenter banyan, as she travels abroad to study dance. But not everything is as it seems, because the school is ran by a coven of witches. The movie also does a thing that a lot of horror remakes do and over-explain everything. You find out who Susie really is. You find out Pat's actual name is Patricia.
Patricia.
And start the movie with her, getting a backstory of why she ran into the woods. This is like how Rob Zombie's Halloween explains how Michael Myers comes from white trash. In this new Suspiria, you find out Susie Banyan comes from a small town with a mom who didn't like her very much. So it's not a bad flick per se, and it does actually have some great scenes of terror that is way more brutal than the original could ever hope for. This film is what some might consider to be an elevated horror film. I know what you're going to be asking. Hey Lazypug, get to the point of the title. What's the other remake? Well, as said earlier in the video, there is another Suspiria remake that no one talks about. An actual remake? No, not really. But a remake in spirit. A ghostly spirit. The Neon Demon follows Jessie, as should have been named Susie Banyan, as she moves to LA to pursue a career in dance. Modeling. When there, she realizes not everything is as it seems. The modeling world is ran by witches. Cannibals. But anyways, Neon Demon, much like OG Suspiria, impresses you more so with color than plot. I kind of think New Suspiria and Neon Demon are kind of two halves of the OG Suspiria's spirit. Neon Demon kicks off with this great title sequence with the mysterious sounding track Under. Perfectly captures the world you're about to enter. You see Jessie laying on the couch with her throat slashed in a pool of blood. The opening shot is very reminiscent of Bob Baltus' painting, who famously painted young girls in very precarious positions. So it's clear with the opening shot, this film is going to be about the exploitation of children. This film definitely has more to say than either Suspiria films, but borrows a lot from Argento's visual style. But even ignoring its ties to the original, I do feel like it does have some similarities to the new Suspiria. Both films are about small-town girls who are exceptional at what they do. Both films deal with mommy issues. In the end, all three films kind of boil down to women not being girl bosses for each other. The main antagonist in all three films is the women who are supposed to take care of them.
People want to be scared, most importantly, when watching a horror film. I would argue that when film critics watch horror films, they think of it as a movie. It's like, bro, this isn't freaking Gone Girl, man. I guess Gone Girl is actually kind of a scary movie. What's a good, drama? Manchester by the Sea?
I was gonna go with something like Steel Magnolias.
Some critics review horror films as if, They're watching Steel Magnolias or something. There's like a disconnect between what audiences want and what film critics want. What is the point I'm making here? I don't know, bro. I don't know what point I'm making there. I just want that on camera a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is why the highest rated horror films and the highest audience rated horror films are often opposed from each other. Not to disrespect the GOAT, Martin Scorsese, but audiences just kind of want a roller coaster when watching a horror film. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna review the roller coaster.
Horror is better when you focus less on the story elements, but more on the terror. I want to talk about the first horror scenes in each film. Both Suspirias have a kill scene early on in the film. My good pal Pat is about to eat some shit here. But let's see how it's set up. That goblin music is rocking right now, so you know something real is about to happen. What I like about the framing on the window is the light is used to spotlight herself on the reflection. Now the handbrake strikes the glass, causing this huge sound effect. Something really well done here is that you feel Pat's face getting really squished. But maybe I'm just a psycho here. And that's definitely a possibility. But I do find this scene kind of funny. I can't help but feel how uncomfortable that actress playing Pat is behind that glass right there. I mean, look at that. With this scene, you get an extended murder. Some might even say excessive. But the reason it works for me is that it's built up to the murder so well. You get to see Susie observe Pat run for her life, and minutes later you find out what Pat was running from. It was pretty brutal. Also, it builds suspense for the rest of the movie. Now you're saying to yourself, crap, our girl Susie is going to go through that. I don't want that. So you're on the edge of your seat, waiting for that next murder. Really well done. Good job, Argento. 8 out of 10. Great work. Now with the new Suspiria, the first proper scary scene isn't until about 40 minutes into the movie, which seems kind of bad for a horror film. But I'm not judging. In this scene, Susie dances, which is a poor choice for a movie about a dance academy. Right, Argento? Olga is trapped in the old mirror room. We've all been there. Tilda tells our girl Susie to dance, and we truly see some sinister stuff go on when Susie gets her groove on. With every move, Olga is bouncing off the wall like Shawn Michaels in a wrestling match against Hulk Hogan. This movie trades in the lavish colors of the original for a toned-down color palette that feels closer to reality, which I think helps this silly over-the-top idea feel slightly more grounded. Much like the OG, this scene goes on for a painfully long time. The music is a little less metal, thus less fun. I do admit, I'm not as much of a fan of body horror, so this scene just never did much for me. I do think the sounds of the bone crunching is the stuff of nightmares. I like the idea of the witches controlling their magic through dance. Very Daft Punk, very hip. I am a fan. This is where the film departs from the original the most, because we aren't as scared for Susie, at least not for her life. We are just left wondering how far down the rabbit hole is she going to go with this magic. Very reminiscent of its contemporaries, The Witch, Hereditary, and even The Neon Demon. Good job, Luca. 8 out of 10. Bravo. The Neon Demon, always an outsider, doesn't have a murder as its first big scare. Some might say it's because it's not actually a remake. But don't tell no one, huh? The Neon Demon's first horrific scene is simply someone feeling uneasy. Jesse's coming home from a date, and the audio is completely silent, so you're forced to listen closer, wondering what's going to happen. Jessie, after struggling with her keys, opens her door and is confronted by something. Causing Jessie to run to her landlord, Keanu. When Keanu opens the door, we see it was a giant mountain lion, which upsets Keanu. Keanu blames her for the lion.
You're paying for this.
I didn't do it.
You fucking kids are all fucking insane.
I really like this scene. Nothing is feeling right. The guy trying to date her is obviously older, but is still trying to get with her. The other models feel slightly off. They seem to have misplaced values, and Keanu seems kind of slummy. But he is a landlord, so that tracks. Anyways, despite not being a kill, I think the reason why the horror elements work is because you know something is going to happen later in that same room. The film is building tension. Will Jessie become another victim? Will she overcome the odds? Nicholas Winding Refn planted some serious seeds here. 8 out of 10. Good stuff. Well done. Bravo. You know, something funny I found out while making this video is that Amazon Prime produced both the new Suspiria and the Neon Demon. I just find that really funny. Like, can you imagine Jeff Bezos watching either of these movies? Has he watched either of these movies? I kind of doubt it. And that got me thinking, like, what is Amazon Prime's videos like endgame? Are people really watching Thursday Night Football, putting on, like, new Suspiria afterwards? I just don't see it. When I see these two movies, I can't help but feel like that one TikTok guy.
Who's buying this?
Who's watching this? Did Jeff Bezos see the original Suspiria and was like, ugh, I hate this bad looking blood and this fake ADR bullshit. Give me 2 movies that kind of feel like this. There's a remake of Suspiria. I want that one. There's a movie that looks a lot like it, but is more mature. Give me that movie. You know? And Luca Guadagnino and Nicholas Winding Refn are probably like, sure, we'll take your money, Jeff Bezos. You're never going to watch this movie. We don't care. Is that like the market of film? I guess so, man. Back to the video. These movies are almost all too much to break down in one YouTube video. Or I'm just too lazy to break that all down. But I want to tackle the endings because that's where I feel these films are a lot more similar than that. Each one of these films have batshit endings that almost have to be seen to be believed. The original Suspiria ends with Susie, our girl, uncovering what the witches are really up to. Where this really differs from the remake is you're not entirely sure what the motives of the witches are, and why Susie and her friends are the only ones to recognize some of the strange stuff that's happening. I think Suspiria feels a lot more like a dream than the newer one. After discovering the witches, she comes across this room with the peacock. Peacock, you gotta get this on your platform. It's free marketing. There you hear this woman gasping for air, freaking Susie out, and this is where Goblin goes ham. Susie knocks over the peacock, awakening the lady in the bed. Susie then picks up the knife and tries to stab the witch. Though before Susie could stab, the witch does its best John Cena impression. What comes next is possibly the most famous scene in the movie, where Susie's best friend comes back from the dead, but Susie just stabs at nothing and bam! It ends up being the witch. And that's when things start spontaneously combusting, fires happen, mass hysteria, and the film just ends. What I adore about the ending is that it just ends in the middle of a climax. Yeah, like Susie left the academy, but does anyone follow her? Do the police uncover any of the deaths that have happened in this film? Argento's just like, who cares? Just end it. The peak happened. This is where that dream logic really helps. The colors, the textures, the sounds, and the music all crescendo to this joy of seeing Susie just leave the house of horrors she's been stuck in for the last 90 minutes. And when you compare it to the Neon Demon, it's a nice compare and contrast. So after Jessie has fully transformed into the model everyone wanted her to be, the jealousy becomes even greater. Keanu's character tries to sexually assault her, models try to bite her, her only friend tries to sleep with her. Her boyfriend is like, you changed, bro. It wasn't always about the money. When Jessie notices Ruby, she says,
Women would kill to look like this.
little on the nose, but it does foreshadow what's about to happen. Jessie enters back into the mansion and sees both models waiting for her. Much like OG Suspiria, the colors are splashing through the screen, blues and reds everywhere, but unlike Suspiria, our protagonist isn't able to escape. But hold on, both New Suspiria and Neon Demon have this epilogue that happens after the climax. I guess some would call it a falling action, and there I would say our girl, Jessie, gets the last laugh. Gigi, the model that eats Jessie, is at the photo shoot and is unable to finish the shoot. She's having some stomach issues. This ain't no IBS. Jessie isn't staying down. Jessie bursts out of Gigi in a surreal final moment. The other model eats Jessie's eye. Not entirely sure what that ending is saying, but I know right then and there, this is some good old B-movie schlock. That's where this film's DNA is right there with Argento's Suspiria. Because both of these films not only have these lavish color palettes, but they have their roots in with exploitation. What can I say? Nicholas Winding Refn really slow played it. But after seeing a model eat an eye and get possessed by Jessie's inner oeuvre, you know you're dealing with some campy shit. Now the new Suspiria's ending is perhaps the most crazy, but I would argue not schlock, which means it's not tied with the original's DNA. You know, something funny about this whole review is that I assumed I was stretching the meaning of a remake, but I do actually think Neon Demon has some strong ties with both films. Like I explained earlier, both Neon Demon and New Suspiria have this small town girl needs to leave her mother theme. Also, Jessie is closer to Susie in the remake of Suspiria. Both are lifted into higher beings with their art. Anyways, the ending of New Suspiria, I'm not even sure how to explain it. Basically, Susie finds the witches, much like the original, but there's a bunch of old naked women and a Jabba the Hutt looking main witch. There's some chanting. Chloe Grace Moretz is looking like a zombie. Susie becomes the queen of the witches. There's some official title to it, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, she goes on a killing spree. The color red is everywhere. It's all strange, but very serious. The film never allows itself to become a full-blown comedy in the way the Neon Demon did. Jabba the Hutt gets close, but no cigar. The directing of this final scene feels closer to an art film than an exploitation film. Doesn't help we get Tom York singing his ass off. Susie rips her chest open. I'm not even sure what's happening. I guess like Jessie's transformation in the Neon Demon, this scene is Susie becoming the demon. But like Neon Demon, New Suspiria does have an epilogue. Susie takes away the guilt that one of the characters has been holding throughout the movie and lets him die in peace. So she's a fair witch. Not like those others. She's a good girl boss.
When you think of it that way, each film is about how to deal with unfair work structures. Susie Bannion in the original Suspiria walks away from it with the building on fire behind her. In the new Suspiria, Susie becomes part of the machine. She is the machine at the end of the movie. And in the Neon Demon, little Jessie is killed by the machine. Did I just connect all three films thematically? I think I did. Did I throw an anti-capitalist message? I think I did. Did I just become a real YouTuber? You damn right I did.
I like that one.